So it's an absolutely beautiful early morning here in South Georgia. And today is a really exciting day because we are testing out Wyatt's trailer. It's been in the works for probably a year. We might call it the Tomater trailer because it's definitely rusted. But between baseball and school, Wyatt works on it when he can, but it is finished. We just wired up the lights on it a couple days ago. And this is the first big run. So what we got to do today is we're pulling a trap. We're not going to be on this property anymore. We've been on this property, I think, since like 2018. The trap is really down in a hole. I mean, like really crazy in a hole. And Wyatt's trailer, we think, is the only thing that we can get down in there. Originally, we carried the trap by hand about 300 yards, at least, down in there by hand. I think Zeb and I did it. So today, we've got the 04 hooked up to our Gator trailer, and then behind that. So we call it the Death Train. It doesn't sound real good, but anyway, we call it the Death Train because when you see it coming, you know that it's dragging a Jaeger Pro behind it, and it's something's going to happen. I'm gonna buzz you around, show you how we hook this thing up. I don't think we've ever done really a lot of videos on it, but basically we're just pulling a trailer behind a trailer, and what we're going to do is unhook the little trailer off the back, and then we're going to unload the Gator and then hook the Gator to that trailer, and then we're going to buzz way down here in the woods. Brought a chainsaw with us just in case it gets too tight down in there. And we're pulling the trap and gonna get it loaded, and then we'll bring it back up, take it back home. So here we go. As you can see, we got the 04, and we don't use the Gator as much as we used to, just because we have the Tacoma, and the Tacoma is nothing more than a big Gator. That's what we say all the time. So it's kind of hooked up like that. And then you come back here, and then we hook up there. So like I said, we'll unload the Gator, and then we'll hook to this trailer, which we may end up calling it the Tomater trailer. We still got to paint it. We just didn't want to paint it till we really knew that we've got it tweaked as much as we want. Now again, virtually no tongue weight. So we throw a 50 pound bag of corn, if I can talk this morning, right up there. And that helps us. So why no tongue weight? Because when we're in the woods, we want to be able to spin this thing around. Now this is the most narrow trailer that we have. 3,500 pound axle. Normally we run 2,000 pound axles, but on this one we went with a 3,500 pound axle. And so there you go. It's kind of a neat little invention we came up with years ago. It's not really hard to pull, not at all. The biggest issue is it's hard to back up. So all right, so with that being said, we got to head way back that way and get way down in the woods, and really excited to give this a shot. Not totally excited to pull the trap, but just to see if this trailer is going to do exactly what we were looking for. And again, Wyatt built this from the scratch up, literally the scratch up, everything. I mean, just did it all himself. So pretty proud of that. So we got the Tomater, that may be the new official name since it's all rusted. But we got it hooked up to the Gator, and we're going to show you here. So behind us is a 100-acre crop field. When we first started trapping this property, there was no way we were going to put a trap out here along the edge or whatever. Once they come from the swamp, which is down there, that's a food source. You need to kind of catch them in the middle. So we got planted pines. I'm going to buzz you around here without making you sick. We got planted pines back here. When we first started, those planted pines were really tiny. But on the other side of that is like where the swamp kind of comes up into a little pond. Our trap originally was there. That was the first spot for the trap. Then, if you look back that direction, where we're headed, was the second location for the trap. It was close to the edge of the field, but we figured out that they like to come up this little hill in South Georgia, and we tried that. And then we moved it to another location, which I'll show you that location, and then ultimately where it ended up. When you start on a property, you've got to figure out how the hogs migrate in. And a lazy man, and I'm going to say that, a lazy man, we'll throw a trap out here in this field, the edge of this field, and it ain't gonna work. It's a huge food source, and you're trying to trap a group of hogs. They get focused on a leftover peanut or a leftover corn or whatever, and you don't have hogs coming in the trap. And it's just kind of like bow hunting, the way we look at it. You want to kind of catch them between their bedding area and the food source. And again, that's why you got to have 3 Gators, 2 four-wheelers, and I think we're up to like 8 or 9 trailers now, and we just keep coming up with different designs to get us into these remote locations. Now, we can't drive our 3/4 ton, diesel back here to do trap maintenance, to extract hogs or whatever, but it's not about our comfort, it's about trapping hogs and the hogs' comfort. So we're gonna buzz you back here. We actually have a little road that goes kind of around these planted pines. This field hasn't been planted yet, so I'm just gonna skirt the edge of this field, show you the second location, which did us good, but it was too close to the field. It really was. So then we moved it, I think roughly about 100 yards. Hang on. This is location number 2 on this property. The trap was actually right here. Those trees were in the trap, and then I'll just slowly bring you around. And you'll see that our crop field is out here. It did a good job, but it was too close to the field. It just was. We got a lot of hogs off of it. And then basically we made a trail and we hand carried the trap about 100 yards down. And that location did really, really well for us. But we started having trouble with beavers, believe it or not. The beavers were damming up the swamp, forcing the hogs to go around that side of the swamp, not this side. We have 2 Jaeger Pros on the other side. Basically, our farmer is not farming this field anymore. So we're going to keep our operation going on the other side. We're abandoning this side. And so we realized that we needed to do something. So we moved it roughly about 300 yards, which we're going to walk through that and take you down to its location right now. So hang on. So this is location number 3. About 100 yards that way is where we were just at. Already had to take one tree out, small tree. Electric chainsaws, battery operated chainsaws. We started off with a DeWalt. Thought that was pretty cool. Now we're running a Milwaukee. I'll show it to you. Really like it. 14 inch is what we like. When I climb trees and cut trees down, that's usually the main saw I use is a 14 inch Milwaukee 8 amp hour battery, 6 amp hour battery. But basically the trap was right here. The gate was actually right there. So right before it went off the hill, and the gate was between those 2 trees. This trap did really well for us. Phenomenally great trap. But when the beavers started to dam up the swamp down there, the hogs were actually going to the other side of the swamp instead of running this ridge. And so we moved it down. It worked perfect. So we're going to keep on buzzing through. A couple things I want to point out on the trailer real quick, especially when you get in these woods like this. So hold on. As I said, this is the most narrow trailer that we've ever designed. You'll see how the fenders are really, Wyatt built all those by hand, really tough. And you want that. It's really hard. It would be helpful to have a spotter today, kind of like rock crawling, to have a spotter to go, okay, you're going to make it. A lot of twisting and turning. Don't want a really long tongue. You're trying to keep this thing as close to that gator as you can. And this is where we got to go. That's how the next path is. Like I said, we hand carried it all the way down. We do know a gator will fit in there. We've had our gator down in there a couple times, but we don't know if it's going to work with the trailer. So it's going to be kind of stop and go. We got to go ahead and take this tree out real quick, hanging over there for the gator. So hang on, here we go. So as we say, we are not sponsored indoors. Nobody's paying us to say anything. Milwaukee, really like this saw. Phenomenally great saw. I mean, we took down 11 pines, 70-foot tall pines, climbed them with spikes, topped them out, dropped them. It's a really good saw. We're running the 8 battery today. They make 6s. So anyway, not really much else to say about it. It's pretty simple. It's got a nice little tool to tighten the blade up. It's got a really good, get on this other side, really good little oil gauge right there so you can see how much oil you got in it. The only issue we had with the DeWalt was it leaked a lot, leaked oil. Not sure what the deal was with that, but this one here so far has been great. We actually have 2 of them now. So we're gonna go ahead and buzz this little overhang out and then head on down. As you can tell, our little road is getting more narrow. As we built it years and years ago, you start getting kind of running out of gas. It's probably middle of July when we did this. You'll see here we cut an old oak out. I'm gonna buzz you around. We're gonna have to cut out more to get the trailer through. So you can see years ago we brought a chainsaw in just so we could have a path to walk, not have to step over this. You're carrying the panels. Panels are roughly about 50 pounds a piece. So you're carrying those, and then way down there is actually where the trap is at. So far, doable. Probably just need to cut about 2 foot off of that guy right there. Now with these battery operated chainsaws, one, you want a really sharp blade, and then two, don't push the saw, meaning just let it eat. If you push it, we've seen where it'll eat that battery quicker. But you know, your harder wood definitely is gonna definitely wear down on that battery life. All right, so here we go. This is why years ago we came up with the importance of no tongue weight on the trailer. Got down in here, kind of predicted I could get around this one tree. I can't, not pulling the trailer. And now I'm kind of in a jam because I can't back up. So what we're gonna have to do is disconnect the gator from the trailer, okay? And then we can hand move by hand. We're gonna pull this trailer away from this tree right here, and then I'm gonna cut it down with a saw. So that's why even when there's a Jagger Pro on top of it, we can still pick it up and move it around. It's a lot harder, yeah, but we don't have any tongue weight, so we can kind of spin it, roll it around. We've even taken a winch before and like turned it with a winch. 2 of us, one winching and one just kind of guiding it. Really important when you get down in these tight spots. But we're almost there. If we get this done, I'm not trying to be dramatic. If we get this done, we got it. It's a straight shot to the trap. I mean, I can see it right now. So hang on. So we got it hooked up, not a big deal. Another thing, tail lights are in close. Got protection around them. Everything needs to be in close where it's, you know, kind of like all streamlined. You see, it's almost as, you know, about the same width as the gator. This is what we were shooting for. The other thing is, out here in the woods, I forgot to do it, but you're always going to want to have some kind of a strap. That handle falls down, you're going to break it off every time. And so we're hooked up, ready to go. And always bring a bag of corn, because it was getting kind of hard for me to move it around in here. So I used the corn to help me counterbalance things. And I had it way in the back, so I could kind of get that front end moving around. All right, so you can see the trap, we're almost there. Well, I would say that's really close. We made it. So we made it here. That was actually the hard part. The easy part's gonna be loading it. It honestly takes us less than 30 minutes to throw one on the trailer, because we do it a lot, got a system. So I'm gonna show you this trap, a really cool design. It's like our most favorite design of a trap, meaning, you know, overly, it worked out perfect. We don't like a round trap, we like an oval trap. About a week ago, we went ahead and pulled the cameras, and we actually shut the gate because there was corn on the ground. And with running 2 Jagger Pros on the other side of the swamp, we didn't want this to be a food source. And so buzz you around, and basically once we get in here, just start loading some panels. Now going back out, it'll be a little different because you're coming at things at a different angle. We rock crawl like with Jeeps out in Utah. So to me, this is kind of like a rock crawl in South Georgia style, because it's all about the angles and picking your line and trying to figure out, you know, what the Jeep will do. So here we go. Right, so as you can see, we got a good oval design, 4-legged on-time feeder. Didn't pull the feeder motor the other day, but we will. And then you got the big pole with the worthless owl that does nothing, but really a neat trap. Like it kind of breaks my heart to pull it. It's done really well for us here. It's just been a phenomenally great trap. Logistically, a horrible nightmare to pull hogs out of. It's bad for that, but we made it work. So God bless Gator. And if you're looking at gators and things like that, we've got 3. Really like the gators. One's electric, one's a 6x4, and this is our newest one. But in operations like this, you're gonna want, seriously gonna want power steering, because it'll beat you to death trying to wheel that wheel. All right, so here we go. So once we got in the trap, the beauty of just having that no tongue weight on that trailer, we were able to spin the trailer around, disconnect, spin the trailer around, hook up, get a straight shot out. So again, we think with these trailers that you're gonna drive down into these woods, you've gotta have basically no tongue weight. Now keep in mind, when you're hauling somewhere, like this morning, I was running an empty trailer, I had 50 pounds of corn in the front. Going back home today, we're gonna have 50 pounds of corn in the front. You may wanna put 100 pounds of corn. Because I'm telling you, the way Wyatt's got it designed, we figured this out years ago, even with connecting rods, feeder poles and everything, literally once that roughly 1,000 pounds of steel of Jagger Pro's on there, you can just take your finger on that tongue. You know, you don't want that for towing, but in these woods like that, yeah, that's the junk. So we're gonna set our timer and go ahead and, you know, just go ahead and knock this out real quick. Not a big deal. and get it strapped down, load everything up, grab the big pole, and then say goodbye to a really good trap location. What you have to think about, and some of you may be like, well, that's a crazy place to put a trap. We're not being paid to trap a group of hogs. That's reactive hog control. We are proactive. So proactive hog control is we're set up, ready and waiting. So it's all about location. You know, we're not responding to blah, blah. We just don't do that. That's not our business. Our business is to be ready and waiting down here. And we're not going to accomplish that mission if we're up there on the edge of that field. It just ain't going to happen. By the time they get to that edge of that field, they're in the field. And that's not what we want. So I'd tell you to hang on, but it might be just a little bit. So it only took about 10 minutes to get the 12 panels loaded. A couple little things here, just if you guys move traps a lot. When you're pulling these rods, these connecting rods, and you kind of see them around here, you can lose these things so easy. The rule of thumb for us is you pull the rod, shove it in the ground. Should be 13 connecting rods with a 12 panel single gate Jaeger Pro. 13 rods, 12 panels. Gravity is your friend out here. So we typically try to lean the trailer one way or the other. We've even pulled the trailer up on a couple little wooden blocks just to kind of cant it a little bit. And then we use a strap like this while we're working. We call this a sissy strap. That may offend somebody. We don't know where we came up with that term, but it's just a little quick strap, real fast to move. Once we get what we want, then we'll take ratchet strap, 2 ratchet straps, we're good to go. So the next thing is going to be the gate. Now the gate is very simple to take apart. Even the brand new Jaeger Pro gates, or this is what I call the 2nd generation Jaeger Pro gate, which in our opinion is our favorite gate. We really like this gate. They're all good gates, but that one's our favorite. Now, pretty easy on this one. It's just got 2 bolts, breaks apart, and you can load it really easy. Probably what I'm gonna do is just back the gator up, or I may just go ahead and just drag it over. It's not that heavy. I think it's like 150 pounds. I'm not gonna pick it up by myself, but you can kind of drag it, move it around. So really impressed with the trailer so far. Wyatt went really heavy duty on the gate. It adds weight to the trailer, but most of your commercial trailers that you're gonna buy, different, I don't care who it is, a lot of them really cheap out on the gates. So when you start looking at trailers, look at the gates, look at how much supports are in there. The other thing to look at is the thickness of the angle, the thickness. You look at it, man, that's a cool trailer. The angle is the thickness is so light that, and again, they're saving money. For us, we went a little bit heavier duty, which adds weight to the trailer, which we don't want a big heavy trailer, but we want something that can take a beating. So here we go. So you'll see here that Wyatt's attached a small little pipe. All of our trailers have that. Really, really neat to have that. You are occasionally going to get rods that are going to get bent. This one's got a slight bend in it. You basically put it in there about to where your bend's at. It's really hard to do. I've tried to do this before on videos with one hand and holding the camera. But basically, you're going to come back. You can see that I'm bending it. And you just start straightening that rod out. There's all kinds of ways you can straighten rods out in the field. Jam them between trees, anywhere. It doesn't matter. So I didn't take the gate apart. I just went ahead and just kind of spun it around. Kind of got it up on there, done it enough times. You'll see how we strap it in. And one thing I wanted to point out, when you start talking like precision for Wyatt, knows the width of like panels and the gate. So the angle was strategically placed here. So it actually, that, connecting rod holder just kind of also helps, We got little buckles right up here so we can go ahead and strap to it. And that's pretty much it. We take the sissy strap, we run it through here just as a precaution, and then 2 ratchet straps will hold it just fine. And you might be going, well, you need to balance the load out. It's a very narrow trailer, 3,500 pound axles. It really ain't gonna matter for what we're doing. So, if it was a wider trailer, sometimes we'll try to separate it, kind of even it out. It's not gonna matter. Big thing now is we gotta get the 4-leg on-time feeder in there. We'll put it back up in that corner. And again, we've never loaded a full Jaeger Pro on this trailer. We know it'll work, but it might be a little bit different configuration. The big pole is going to be a big problem. It's been in the ground for a long time. No rain here and forever in South Georgia. And even though we're near the swamp, I've already kind of wiggled it and it's not wiggling too much. So we'll probably have to get the T-post puller and run a strap and literally pull it out of the ground. Done that before too. So beautiful, beautiful morning here in South Georgia, man. I mean, just weather's perfect. So I'm sweating a little bit like Wyatt in church, which is a good thing, better than snow. We didn't have to get the T-post puller out to get the big pole out. Kind of cool here. We write down like the ice camera that would be out there outside the gate. We write when we replace the lithiums. Helps us keep track of what the camera's actually doing. And then up here, I mean, it actually had writing up here, but you can't see it anymore. You can go back here to like 22, 23, 24, 25. It helps us keep track. When we see cameras start using a lot of lithium batteries, we all run 6 volts, 6 and 12 volts backups. We see those cameras doing that, we know something's wrong. Camera's starting to have problems. We have kind of generally about 6 months. 6 months is what we'll see out of 12 lithiums inside a camera, and that's doing a 6 volt, 12 volt swap every month. So we're gonna go ahead and strap the big pole down, and that's pretty much it. Turned out really well, went well, no major issues. Very happy with the trailer. Wyatt's been texting back and forth. He's at school, probably not supposed to be doing that, but he's really curious how it's holding up. You know, if I see any mods that need to be done. And he's calling it a she, so I guess it's a female tow mater. So we got it loaded, got the big pole on, everything's good to go. It's not a real snake. But years ago, we came up with this theory to try to combat the squirrels. I mean, when you're doing these semi-permanent traps down in holes like this, the squirrels are hell on you. They're hell on electrical wires, anything. It don't matter what it is. They've eaten the paint off of control boxes. We don't understand that because we're like giving them fresh corn twice a day. You know, feel the love there. They don't care. So we came up with the owl, as you can see. The owl did no good. I think it worked for like a day, and then we came up with the snake. And so what we do is put the snake around the owl's neck, you know, kind of like it's trying to kill it or something. I don't know. But you can see here that they actually chewed its tail off. So clearly the snake meant nothing to them. But now we got the second hardest part is getting back out of this maze. Feeling pretty good about it. Got plenty of power on the saw. We just got to put our cross member in on the trailer. Just kind of help stabilize that load a little bit. Not necessary. It's just kind of overkill for us. And get the hell out of Dodge. So here we go. All right, so far so good. A lot of bending your neck here. Got hung up in a vine. Now we're getting somewhere. Having them really reinforced fenders, so if you make a turn, you'll basically come to a screeching halt. You really won't hurt the trailer as long as you're not going too fast. And then you got to really almost hit that front bumper. You got to come back over to the other side. almost as like rock crawling with a Jeep. Alright. This is pretty much a straight shot out of here. Some small brush. Oh man, I'm seeing daylight now. Let's check for damage. Did good, man. Oop, got to see I got my handle flipped down. Got to strap that up. We have some straps we did a video on. I think they're called goat straps or something like that. We started using them. They work really good. Al's still hanging on for dear life. No issues. Yeah. All right. Let's get back up to the truck. This part here, this is easy. So we made it back up here. Basically, the easiest way we figured out is you just kind of get right up there. You go ahead and load. Disconnect the, I guess we're calling it the tow mater trailer, and just pull the gator up. And then, because there's no tongue weight, we can back up this big trailer and then go ahead and hook up to it. It's kind of tricky because you don't have a backup mirror or nothing like that, or a backup camera. But anyway, we've done enough times it works. So we'll get that done, shoot another video, and we're headed to the house. So we made it back, no issues. Didn't even lose the owl off the back. Still got the rubber snake. Everything pulls good. We've done this enough with the death train that we kind of know, you got to watch your speed, and a lot of it depends on how the trailer's loaded. Sprayer, man. I mean, everybody's getting ready to plant, so that's the big loud sprayer noise. But again, when we started looking at doing social media for those videos, we wanted to do education. We wanted to put stuff out there to help people, learn. I mean, we're really not into just, we've got tons of gate drops that we can show. Boom, gate, hogs, whatever. I don't know. Me personally, I want to learn things. And so, for some of you out there that may want to trap, or you're just interested what it takes to get there, what it takes to do it, super cool to, well, he was 17, now he's 18, fixing to be 19, that he could literally go to our little welding shop over here and start from the ground up and design a trailer that we could put in the field under the specifications that I want for the job. And then he's also trapped hogs. So he looks at things and goes, yeah, I know that. We've got two what we call mini hogs, which are basically 5x8s, give or take. One has a winch, one don't. We've got the micro hog, which is what we put our big four-wheeler on. We've got a 20-foot dovetail, a 16-foot dual axle. We've got this trailer right here, which has been modified. The axles were swapped out on it. And I mean, we're constantly modifying what we need to do this job. And again, if you're just gonna drive out to a crop field and drop a trap down next to it, yeah, you can probably do that with a 3/4 ton diesel, 1 ton, whatever you got. We're not doing that. You saw today where we're at. That is proactive hog control. That is being in those locations when those hogs migrate through and go, hey, look, corn. The key is once a month maintenance. You can't be down in there setting it up. You can't be making a bunch of noise. And so, again, thoroughly hope you enjoyed the video. Kind of sad to pull that trap today. It really was. I really liked that trap. Did a lot of good for us. But, the trap is getting ready to go back out here in about a week. It's going back out. So she'll be back in action, and we'll probably get rid of the owl. So with all that being said, now we got to unload it, put it under our lean-to, and I got to go eat something, but just not a big ass salad. Y'all have a great day. Appreciate the support. Well, clearly the chickens are really glad that Wyatt finished the trailer. Seriously, guys? I mean, seriously? Like, we still got to paint it. So if you're sitting on it, standing on it, leaning on it, squatting on it, we all know what you're doing. And then I got to clean that.